So this conversation was brought up between us because suddenly at like a certain phase in our lives, everyone like we all kind of got certain comments about our appearance. So let's tell you our stories. Let's start with Jen.
Sure.
Okay. So my story is basically, it happened with coworkers. We get off work together and we were on our way home, we were in the NTR. And then this one lady, just like in front of two other male colleagues, suddenly tells me, do you know what gazato is? So gazato is, what's that?
Cockroach belly.
Cockroach
belly.
stomach? Cockroach belly.
Yeah.
It, like direct translation. But you can kind of like imagine it in your head, like what a cockroach looks like, right? And like I didn't know what she meant, and she was like, oh yeah, it's like what they used to describe olden day like girls, because like basically they had like a small belly, like a pouch in the middle, like in the front, and then at the back they're like flat, so they don't have a butt. And basically she's like, oh yeah, you have gazato, and I'm just like, it just came out of nowhere too. Like we were just standing there waiting for the train, and then like I think like the other two male colleagues felt kind of like, oh, what is happening? And then like someone just made a joke like, oh, she's gonna go ganfei now, and I'm just like,
What do you even say to them?
yeah, I don't even remember how I reacted. I think I just like
You were in shock.
laughed it off or something, but in my head I was like, wow, that was so uncalled for. Honestly, I feel like everyone has this insecurity after you eat or whatever, you're like bloated and like,
Yeah.
come on, like no one walks around sucking in their belly the whole day and like being so self-conscious there. I was just being normal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your
But this
purpose,
lady, like,
seriously?
I don't hate her. Like she's always been the type of person who just like says whatever that comes up to her head. But at the same time, I feel like, wow, you should really think about what you say to people like next time.
Well, maybe she didn't mean it that way. Maybe she's just trying to like joke around and
Yeah, but it's not
make
funny.
chat.
Like I don't understand because
But,
it's not funny.
yeah, but little does she know it might hurt people's feelings, and it kind of did.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, for
Yeah.
me, I would just laugh it off. But you know.
Yeah, I didn't like it didn't keep me up at night. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
going home and crying about it, but I just got really red. I think I just got really red because
And embarrassed and
I was like,
kind of hurt.
yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. It's like
Yeah.
they're humiliating you in front of people
Yeah.
for no reason on purpose. It's like what? And also, I have like a really deep voice, just in case y'all haven't noticed. Yeah, it could be two ways. It could be interpreted as deep, like sultry voice, but then a lot of people just like, you sound like a man. Like there's a time that I met this person for the first time, yeah, and I just introduced myself, and this dude just goes like, are you sick or did you hurt your voice as a kid?
Oh my god.
And I was like,
I
no,
wouldn't
that's
even
just how I
ask if I
sound like.
first
I was
met
just like,
someone.
no, exactly. I just met this person, and I'm just like,
What a great first impression of somebody.
yeah, what a great first impression of you.
Yeah.
You had a similar experience too, didn't you?
Yeah, so a lot of people talk about, physical appearance and like, being fat or, they have certain terms for different like body parts that are not appealing. I see this a lot where there's a lot of like running jokes about physical appearances and people get laughed at the expense, like, so the joke is at the expense of one person. So like when you're with a group of like 15 people, one person's always like the person that gets laughed at, or like you could take turns being laughed at, but it's all about like physical appearance. And so I was at this like certain dinner party where there were like a lot of people, and we were kind of, it was the same drill. We were going like taking turns being laughed at, and the thing was there's a huge peer pressure to laugh it off and to not be butthurt about situations where comments are being thrown at you and they're not friendly. That's what everyone does. And so there was this one guy who was just like, oh, yo, you're, Robin, you got fat. Like inside, I was like, whoa, what? And then
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then I kind of ignored the person. And then like a few minutes later, the person brought it up again. Like, guys, don't you see it? Like Robin got a little bit fat. Like, look at her arms. But I just couldn't react to the comment in a way that I wanted to. I just didn't react because I was so shocked. But then there's also like whether or not that turns into something they're angry about or something you're really sad about. And I think my pendulum weighs toward like the sad side. So when someone says something hurtful about me, I tend to get sad and not angry. And I feel like you're like,
I just get angry.
yeah.
I just ignore it. Like, I don't even get angry or sad. I guess a lot of times they say it as a joke or to make talk.
But it's not funny.
But then
man.
sometimes it might get to you. It might get to you if you're just if it makes you feel bad, and it made me feel bad in that way.
Yeah.
Should
I talk about? Okay, so like the next day,
literally the next day, I was at like this dinner. We were like, there were so many people there. There were like 15 people there, and then I was like trying to get food, and then one of the relatives was like, "Oh, Robin, you got fat," in Chinese, right? The whole like Asian auntie
Why do you
thing.
suddenly have like a weird accent?
It's
It's not even
it's a meme. It's a meme on like SAD. All the Asian aunties go like, "Oh, you got fat."
肥咗。
No, I don't know.
doesn't.
Grandmas, man.
Grandmas.
食多啲嘢啦。
Yeah.
And then when you eat too much,
It's
哇！你有冇食咁多嘢？
肥又唔得，瘦又唔得。
Like, some people kind of stood up for me. They were like, "Oh, don't say that. She's already not eating that much." And so I remember me just like bringing, you know how I was getting food, right?
Yeah.
I was bringing all the food into my room, and then I just like put the food there, and I never touched it for the rest of the night because of like something that's such a superficial comment. Right. So the thing that really struck me the most was that I didn't know how to react. And in terms of like immediately what to say to that person, and also after.
I have the same feeling. Like I wish I just knew what to say to that person.
Y'all's experiences are with people that you're like not close to or you work with or like a friend group. But for me, it was like a person I used to be close to. I think you both know, but a lot of people don't know. So just a disclaimer, like it's been a long time ago. We were young. We were young. It was the past. So just let you know, there's no hard feelings about it. But back in the day when I was in my like previous relationship, it wasn't the most healthy, and there were maybe some like arguments involved or like cheating and these things. So I was not happy. And when some people are depressed, some people would binge eat, but for me, I can't eat. Like I don't have the appetite. Like you guys, you remember you saw me, and you were like, you got so skinny.
Yeah.
It was during that time.
I was concerned.
Yeah, I was during that time. And then every day, it's so weird. Every day people would comment like, "Oh my god, you're so thin. Like, do you diet? What did you do? What do you eat?" And then, but on the inside, I'm like, I know why I look like this. And you guys all don't know, but why do you guys comment? Because I look like that because I have no appetite. Like, even though I was so I was so underweight, I weighed like 38 kg at my lowest, and I'm 5'1". 38 kg, that's like 88, 90 pounds.
Dang.
Yeah. And then
I'm so glad that she's come so far from now.
Yeah, so the main point is, like, you know how I'm really skinny? Oh, you're kind of like chubby here. Or, oh, you don't really have an ass or something like that. Like these kind of comments. And like obviously it's from someone that's really close, so I can express and go like, I don't like it, right? Mm-hmm. You guys probably couldn't in your situation, but I could. Mm-hmm. But even so, like, it's the person you're closest to. You really do think I don't look good?
Because you care about what he thinks.
Yeah, I care about what he thinks. Force myself to eat. I would force myself to eat, and if I don't eat, I get depressed. It was like that. And then I gained a little bit more weight, and then, but in his perspective, he, because it's the Hong Kong beauty center. Everyone has to be stick thin, and still have an ass, and still have titties.
Titties.
Yeah. So
it's like,
but the thing is, you look great. Like, come on. Like,
I was too skinny too, but yeah. So that was kind of my experience, and at that time, even if I expressed I didn't like it, it didn't. Yeah.
I think
you just gotta You just gotta avoid toxic people sometimes. So instead of stuffing myself to eat, instead of just doing all these unhealthy stuff to make myself look like what the person wants you to look, I think I had to shift to like an attitude where I have to take care of myself and love myself. I started working out, I started eating more healthy, and that's when you change, not when you like try to be something other people tell you to be. Like, it's just, yeah.
Self-love for this one has been so strong.
Actually, though, I feel like she gained a lot more confidence like these few years.
I agree.
And more like, don't give a shit about what you say and just do my own thing kind of attitude.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember the last time someone commented me. Like, you guys had stuff people say to you, like what you guys talked about, but for me, I don't remember. The only thing I remember was like 5 years ago, and that was a situation 5 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, that's my story.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we made a list of things that you can say to the person in the moment when the person says something uncalled for.
Yes.
And we thought really hard about this. It might not
So
work
hard.
in all situations because it really depends on your relationship with that person.
Okay.
So I think first is you could ask why they said it. What do you mean? Like, why did you say that? You know?
Why did you say that, knowing that it'll make someone feel bad? Or
What's your purpose?
why did you want to make me feel bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, why did you say that? Like in a lighthearted way.
If you see something about someone that you're like, oh, there's a change, and you feel like it's an unhealthy change, you want to tell that person. But I think there's a time and place for everything, and if you really cared about that person, you wouldn't say it in front of like a lot of people in a social situation.
Well, if they tell you got skinny or you got fat, then you can ask them, why? Is it bad? You know, just to like let them know in their head that, to think about what they just said and to let them know that you actually don't like it, but not in like a harsh way. Maybe just like, oh, why? Is it bad? I think that's what I'll do.
Why is that?
And then they have the audacity to go like, yeah, it's bad.
Like, okay, you said it to me, and I'm kind enough to tell you that it's not okay, so that you don't say it to someone else who might like beat you up for it.
Because chances are, saying something bad about your body makes them feel better in some way.
I don't like those people. Okay.
That's why people say things, because they like to, you know, either express their frustration or gain some happiness out of what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're really insecure.
Or they want to be like conversation starters. I don't know.
Maybe they're avoiding the awkward silence. I don't know. Like
some people do. Oh.
But I know that some people,
it's
some people just say things because it pops in their head and they got no filter.
We still look good. Okay. It's none of your business. 都唔關你事，關你咩事啫？你做乜話我肥啫？關你叉事咩？ Don't do this to each other. Like, why?
Yeah, but some people don't know. They don't know that they're actually hurting your feelings. They think they're just making talk or like joking around. They didn't know that it will actually get to you and hurt your feelings. They didn't think it would come off offensive.
They shouldn't even joke.
But they should know that it might be offensive, like even though it's not in their intention. I think you should just let them know. Actually, there is a bit of it's a bit hurtful.
Maybe I surround myself around the right girlfriends because I've never heard it from a girl.
Yeah, we never say that.
I thought your colleague was a girl.
No.
She was.
Oh right, but she's not a girl. She's like an older woman.
Okay.
I feel like older people just think differently.
It's in their culture. Like, wow, they face all.
肥皂，肥皂，
Maybe.
肥皂。
It's just the culture in some ways, but just let them know if you don't feel comfortable. That's the thing.
Okay, this one is actually kind of serious, where you call them out. You literally just call them out. Like, you say, I can't believe you said that, because I wouldn't say that to anyone. It's just your honest, raw feeling. Yeah. And it kind of like puts that person back in their place. Like,
You're like,
I didn't, like, that person probably didn't realize, I hope they didn't realize that they had that effect on you.
Yeah.
And if that you say that, then that kind of like lets them know.
And then if that person's an asshole, they'll be like, "Wow, like I'm still hega" or whatever. Then that's when you know this person can be deleted off your life.
yeah, just cut it off. Bye.
Or just stand there and be like,
Why?
"Wow."
If it's like a constant thing that keeps like coming up about like, you know, laughing at you, laughing at other things, then if you really don't feel comfortable about it, then it might be like more wise to distance yourself from those people rather than try to change what they're saying about you or change like the culture of the whole group of friends.
Choose your friends wisely.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone has the responsibility for like making sure that you also don't say something that might potentially hurt someone, because I believe like not everyone who says hurtful comments mean it to be hurtful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it might have just floated to the top of their head and they just like spit it out, but they don't really process that it could have hurt someone.
I would compliment people though, but if I see someone who's like maybe not as healthy, if they're like too skinny and I compliment them, then I get scared. I'm like, oh, am I telling you to say the same and say that way? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm just more careful sometimes.
I feel like complimenting someone on how skinny they are is kind of like you have to be very careful with it, because sometimes you don't know what that person has gone through to be that skinny.
They might be starving their whole time, and you tell them, oh my god, you look so good, you look so skinny.
Yeah, or that person might be trying to gain weight.
Yeah.
Or like it's just I think there's so much more things to compliment. I know like sometimes
I love your smile.
So next we're gonna move on to how you're gonna overcome this and what to say to yourself, like just internal things to think about when people give you these kind of comments.
One way to think about it is that comment doesn't really say anything about you. It says more about the person saying it and the insecurities about the person saying it and the character of the person saying it. So don't take it personally.
You sent an article in the group about, like I read it the other day. It was like something about how you were happy before the person said that comment. Like you were living your life and okay, and then until that person said the comment and then you felt bad. So you should, sometimes it's taking a step back and thinking about, okay, ignore that person. If that person never said anything, I would have been okay with what I look like.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at people and they're not like the skinniest, or they don't follow the whole like, you know, general beauty standards of girls in Hong Kong or whatever, but they're so happy and they're glowing. You know, they have that self-confidence and they're really assured of themselves.
Dude, self-confidence is
and it
so,
literally radiates. And
it's
you can
so
tell.
attractive.
It's so attractive. Yeah. And yeah, we have a friend. Shout out to Joyce.
Right? Do you think she'll watch this video?
I don't know.
Well, ask her to watch this video.
Yeah. But she's always been like really confident and she feels really comfortable with herself and she's happy, you know? Yeah. And I think that's such a beautiful quality of a person.
Like Joyce had a phase in high school that now that she looks back, she doesn't like what she looked like back in high school, and she approached that in like the healthiest, most disciplined, most hardworking way possible. Like she went working out all the time and she approached it in such a good way.
Yeah, she didn't approach it in a way that like, oh my god, I have to be skinny like her. I'm gonna work to the point where I'm gonna eat healthy because I want to be like her. It wasn't like that. It was more like, I'm gonna take care of myself because this is self-love. And yeah, so I think through that she became really confident, and it was just a really charming quality that I see in her.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like happy and they're so confident, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So I want to be that man.
In Chinese, it's called 相由心生. What you feel on the inside, it shows, and people can see that.
Yeah. Says the girls with the YouTube channel and the fashion channel and the outfit channel.
How to make your eyes look bigger.
Self-love.
Are we perpetuating this toxic ass?
Well, that's not what we're going for though. Just to let you guys know, like it's not what we're going for. I think
I really hope we're not doing that.
All the makeup, it's like a form of self-love. You know, it's like being happy, enjoy what you do. I mean, people enjoy looking good, but it's because you're taking care of yourself and you just enjoy it. It's not like to impress anyone.
It's really for yourself.
Yeah.
If you love your body, that's the best. Yeah, that's the best positive connotation. That's the best like thing that you can give yourself. And none of those people who say anything bad about you are going to stick with you. The only person that's going to stick with you is yourself. And so it's really important to kind of internalize that and really like think about, okay, in 10 years, like I'm not going to remember what that person say.
I want to say, like, I hope this doesn't come off as we've mastered it and we're teaching you guys something. I really feel like this is a discussion that we had to have to help each other move past this.
This discussion allows us to reassess what we should really do in terms of like, you know, having these comments and like how to reassure yourself in a way and remind yourself that, you know, beauty is supposed to be more of self-love and more than your appearance. Yeah.
More than your appearance.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not actually going to tell you like, okay, how to be healthy or how to exercise, because you know already, and there's so many ways to find that. And we just wanted to bring out the message like, you're not alone, everyone gets through this. Don't let someone ruin your day like that. It's not worth it.
If you're watching this video and you feel like we're attacking you because you might have said something to someone potentially along the lines of our examples, then I feel like don't feel bad about it. Just be careful what you say next time. Yeah. Like for example, the person who said those things to me, I don't hold a grudge against that person. I just wish I let that person know that it was not okay in that moment so that she wouldn't go and say it to other people or say it to me again.
And we hope this video can help you if you're going through something and whatever time in your life you're going through these kind of problems, you can always go back to this video because we're here for you.
Yeah. Comment down below if you want us to do more related videos, like get more serious or more raw talks. Honestly, it was very difficult. This was difficult for us to do. We sat down yesterday for like a few hours just thinking about what to say and how we could say it in a way that is helpful for you guys. Or if you have similar experiences, you can feel free to DM us
Yeah.
We are very responsive on Instagram.
Yeah. Here is our Instagram account. We will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.